Hey, and welcome to The Chef's Table, a weekly video series for culinary entrepreneurs who want to monetize their skills outside of the kitchen. I'm your host, Chef Evelyn. This is the place for successful women who want to live, cook, and work on their own terms. So if that's you, let's get started. Hey, and welcome back to The Chef's Table. I am Chef Evelyn, and I help professional women monetize their culinary skills outside the kitchen and create multiple streams of income. Now, what I want to talk to you about today is something that I think is really important, because this is something that I struggled with for a really long time. And that's, when do you know when and or if you need a business consultant, strategist, coach, whatever you want to call it, right? And so I thought I'd do this video because I did a video not too long ago talking about how to select the right business mentor for you. But you may be thinking, do I need a business mentor? And mentor is probably not the word that I should use. Consultant, coach, strategist. When do you know that it's time to invest in yourself and in your business and your goals and your dreams by working with a consultant or a strategist? Because I do think it's an important decision. And so I want to give you it's kind of like a litmus test of things to consider if that's something that you're thinking about, but you don't know whether or not you're ready, or if that's something you need at all. So let's kind of get into it. And as always, I've got my notes down here because I don't want to forget. I don't want to waste your time. I want to honor your time, just like I want you to honor my time. Okay. So the first thing, when you want to think about, like, I would say if you are not getting the results that you want, whether in your business or even getting started with your business, then I would say that working with someone would be beneficial, because if you're not getting the results that you want, more of the same is not going to get you further. Even if it's more of the same of you're procrastinating, or you can't seem to nail down your idea, or you can't seem to organize your thoughts, or whatever the case may be, that if it's either you just can't seem to click over and start, or you've been doing it and you've kind of been going in circles and circles and circles, getting the same results, or you're like stuck at a certain income level or something like that, then I would suggest that you get a strategist. I know that happened to me. I was just kind of like, okay, I'm doing the things, but the things aren't doing what I want them to do. You know what I mean? And so it was like, the definition of insanity is doing the same things over and over again, expecting to get a different result. And here's the thing, you're not insane. You just might need some support. And so I think for me, I was doing the same things over and over and over again, and thought maybe if I did them harder or faster or more, right, that it would somehow get me a better result. And all it got me was burnt out, to be quite frank. And so if you're not getting the results in your business, then I would say, working with a consultant, a strategist, a coach would be beneficial. Okay. The second thing I would say is you've gone as far as you can go on free information. Raise your hand if you're like me and you're an information junkie. Okay. Information Junkies Anonymous. All right. I was like, I'm going to read every blog post. I'm going to watch every YouTube video. I'm going to sign up for everybody's free ebook. I'm going to join every live stream I can. I'm going to be in every Facebook group I can. I'm going to save every, business tip quote on Instagram. I'm going to opt into people's free webinars. I'm going to do all the things, right? And I remember a coach that I had, it's not the coach that I have now, told me, and I was like, this is so true. She was like, you do know that all of that, the YouTube videos, the webinars, the emails, the blog posts, the free ebooks, all of this are only going to tell you the what and the why. They're never going to tell you the how. And they're not designed to. And I remember I was like, you're right. Because I remember thinking, I know what to do. Like, why is it not working? Because I didn't know how to do it. And so I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't know that was a formula. And so I spent years like just consuming. And I even went through a phase of, well, let me look and see what this person is doing, and let me look and see what that person is doing. And I can tell you that is a dangerous way to try to do business, because you don't know if they're successful. You don't know what their back end looks like. You don't know what their profits look like. You don't know if they're equally as stressed and trying to figure it out just like you. And so, when you've gone as far as you can go on free information, free videos, okay, free whatever, right? Like, there's no ROI on free. Free is zero, right? I mean, this is basic mathematics. This is multiplication. 0 times anything is 0. If you've invested $0, then your return is probably going to be 0. If you requested $1, then you just gonna get times whatever, right? So depending on what your goals are, your investment should align with your goals. Okay. And so if you've gone as far as you can on free, I'm not saying this in judgment. I'm saying this as someone who has been there. You are getting the results you're getting from free. Okay. The third thing is you haven't been where you're trying to go. It's kind of like, y'all know I give the example of a GPS all the time. If you're an employee or you work for somebody else, they call that corporate America, right? Or depending on what industry you're in, but it's its own world with its own ways of functioning and its own ways of being promoted and its own ways of, own set of skills and rules of engagement. So consider that, okay, that's America. Entrepreneurship is like another country. Different set of rules of engagement, different set of skills needed. The way you engage, the way it works is completely different. So if you're trying to leave one country and let's say you're trying to leave America, but you're trying to go to Istanbul, okay, you don't know your way around Istanbul. You don't know the culture, the customs, the systems, the laws, the rules of Istanbul, because you've never been there before. And what happens is a lot of people think, well, if I know this over here, then a country is a country and I can just go over there and get the same results doing the same thing over here. Absolutely not. So my recommendation to you is if you're trying to go somewhere where you've never been before, then you need somebody to show you how to get there and the steps that it takes, because they've already been down that path, right? I use that GPS example all the time. The reason why the GPS can give you directions to your end goal is because the satellite has been ahead of you and can tell you how to get there. And the beautiful thing about having someone who's been where you're trying to go and knows the terrain is that when there is an accident, when there is a global pandemic, when there is, construction on the road or whatever, they can show you how to reroute or save time, or if you get off track, how to reroute you and get you back to where you want to be. So if where you want to go in business, you've never been there before, then I would say, yes, you need a consultant, a strategist, a coach. Okay. The next thing is that you've been taking advice from people who are also trying to go where you go, or who are in the same stage you're in, right? So I'm always amazed when I see people who are in the same stage of business trying to advise each other. I think it's different to hold each other accountable, right? To be like, we're in this together thing. You always need peers. But it's like, how can you tell me where to go, how to do something that you've never done? How do you know that it's going to work? That you may have heard it, you may have read it, you may have seen it, but you don't know it. Okay. And so it's, knowledge and wisdom are two different things. Wisdom has that experiential, I've lived this, I've done this. Let me tell you what it looks like in theory, and let me tell you what it looks like in practical application, are completely different things. And so there's this book that I read years ago. I can't remember the name of it. And one of the things that the man says in the book is like, how do you know that you know something? How do you know that you know it? He was like, because you've lived it. Otherwise, you've read about it, you've heard about it, you've talked about it, you've thought about it, but you don't know it because you have not lived it. Okay, so I kind of view like if you're getting advice from your friends and family who are not in business, or who are not in business in the culinary world, or who people who are just starting out like you and they're having the same struggles. It's like the blind leading the blind. Where are y'all going? It doesn't make any sense. So if that's you, girl, you might need some guidance there. I would recommend getting some guidance. Because here's the thing that I think a lot of people misunderstand about entrepreneurship, about investing in guidance, in consulting, coaching, resources, is that you're going to pay either way. So you're either going to pay dollars to work with someone to collapse timeframes, or you're going to pay and lose money and lose time. And the reality is, smart entrepreneurs know that time is the most valuable asset you have, because it's the most non-renewable resource, right? And so if you're wasting time, you could always make more money. People go bankrupt all the time, lose money all the time. You can make that back and then some, and never even feel the effects of having lost the money. When you lose the time, honey, you lost it. You know what I'm saying? And so I had to learn that my time was more valuable than any kind of dollar amount I was trying to hold on to. That I had wasted and lost enough time, and enough years had went by, and I was like, okay, what's the problem? You know what I'm saying? And so if you understand that concept, that the time is going to pass anyway, and money you can get, like, money is a tool, right? Like, you can get money, which you're going to pay either way. And I think people want to enter into entrepreneurship with no skin in the game. They either don't want to spend the years that it's going to take to learn it on their own and do the research and possibly lose money and sleep and time and relationships, or they don't want to spend the money to get the guidance so that they can save themselves that headache and collapse timeframes. But you're going to pay with something either way. Your time is your most valuable resource. Money is a valuable resource. Pick which one you want to pay with. Okay. I don't even know how I went on that rant, but I feel like one of you might need to hear that. Like, you're going to pay either way. All right. The next thing, and let me look at my notes here, because listen, y'all, I have these little note cards and sometimes I can't read my own writing. The next thing is that you're the smartest person in the room, meaning, like I said, you've read all the free, you've watched all the free, you've done all the things. And in your peer circle, or maybe you got a little entrepreneur group or entrepreneur friends, and they may not even be in the same arena. They may not be in the same genre of business, but you're the smartest person in the room. And you can't figure out why you're so smart, but you're not getting results. And I can tell you that is a painful place to be in. To feel like you're pouring into other people, you're giving them ideas, you're giving them strategies, you're giving them tips, but it's not working in your own business. That you feel like, he's like, I know what to do. Why is it not working? Or you feel like, I know I'm a smart woman. Like I know this. I know I'm intelligent. It can't be that hard. People who are less smart, less talented, less gifted, whatever the case may be, are outpacing you, and you're just like, I don't understand what is happening. I'm telling you that there's something that you need that you don't know that you don't know. And that's and a coach, a consultant, a strategist will be able to see that, because sometimes when you're in something, it's hard to see what's going around. I know for me, it was accountability. I needed high level accountability. I needed eyes on me. And then there were some strategic things that I just didn't know. I knew a lot of pieces of the puzzle, but the problem is I couldn't put the picture together because I didn't know what the picture was. So I had pieces to a puzzle that I didn't know what the picture was. Do you know how hard it is to put together a puzzle, or how much more time it takes to put together a puzzle when you don't know what it is you're trying to put together? And so if you're like, man, here's the thing, and I know you may not want to admit this to yourself, that you're the smartest person in the room, but you've been the smartest person in the room for a long time, and you're just like, I don't know what's wrong. Something must be wrong. There's nothing wrong with you. You just don't know what you don't know. And one of the hard pills I had to swallow was that being successful as an entrepreneur was not about intelligence. I know that's hard to hear. It wasn't about intelligence. It was about, do you know what to do, and are you executing on those things consistently? There is a formula. Now, it varies based on industry, but in general, there are some fundamental concepts in entrepreneurship that are universal. And so if you know, like, how is it that I can be so successful in my corporate job or my day job, but in entrepreneurship, it's just not doing what I needed to do? How is it that I'm really skilled at what I do? How is it that the clients that I do have or the customers that I do have think that I'm amazing, but I'm not further along? And you feel like you should have been further along by now, and that you learned this and you learned that, or you took this little mini course over there and this little mini course over here and this little mini course over there, and you took all these little different pieces, but nobody has sat down and said, let's build out your picture so you can see where these pieces fit. Then I would say you are in desperate need of some higher level consulting, strategy, coaching, however you want to refer to it. And then the last thing is you know what to do, but for whatever reason, you just don't do it. You know what to do. You know, you've read the things. Maybe you have invested in a coach or a strategist, and for whatever reason, you're just not doing what you know you need to do. Then you need some accountability, and your girlfriend or your homegirl or your other business partner that you may call your accountability partner, yes, that's fine and dandy, but you need skin in the game. You know, you need to put your money where your mouth is, because you know you're the kind of woman that, okay, if I pay for it, I'm gonna show up and I'm gonna do it, because you're not gonna waste no money. You know what I mean? You need that level of accountability. I know I did. I had accountability partners and tried to form my own little masterminds and whatever. Usually I was one of the smartest people in the room. Usually it turned into me coaching everybody else. Usually it turned to me not getting my stuff done because there was nobody ahead of me to look me in my eye and be like, I know that it's impressive to everybody else because you're leaps and bounds ahead of everybody else, but I know you can do more. I know you can stretch further. I know you have bigger ideas. I know you have the work ethic. I know you have the discipline, and you need somebody that can look you in your eye and challenge you to step up to the woman that they know you can be. And so sometimes I've had to invest in coaching strictly for somebody to snatch me. You know what I'm saying? At a high level, like, because I needed someone smarter than me, more savvy than me, that was ahead of me to go, I smell all of that. And it's smoke and mirrors for everybody else. You know what I'm saying? Everybody else thinks that your little minimal effort is amazing, but you know there's more in there. You know that there's more you want to do. You know how far you want to go. But because other people around you are so impressed with the little bit of effort that you put in, you're able to fly under the radar. And the reality is, if that's you need somebody to get you together. And you're going to have to pay for that. I remember I had a mentor, and he told me, I was really frustrated. At the time I was like, I'm too smart to not be making the kind of money I want to make. And I've taken these classes or whatever. And he was like, listen, the reality is that you need to be in a room where you're not the smartest person in the room. He said, the challenge is there may not be a lot of rooms. And my self that wants to be humble, this was hard to hear, because I was like, I'm not trying to say that I'm the smartest. He was like, I think you can be in some rooms where you're not the smartest person in the room, but you're never going to be at the bottom. And he was like, and you're going to have to pay to be in those rooms. He was like, you're going to have to pay. The people that are having the kind of elevated conversations that you need to have about your dreams and your goals and where you want your life to go, you're going to have to pay to be in those rooms, because that's what those people who are thinking and working and operating at that level do. They are not in free Facebook groups. They are not being advised by people who haven't been where they wanted to go. You need people who have a vision or who have accomplished something where the box is big enough for you. So anyway, I feel like I went on a little bit of a tangent, a little bit of a rant, but I hope you know that it's in love, and I think this is why I'm so passionate about helping women, because I know that there's a unique set of challenges that we face in entrepreneurship, particularly in culinary entrepreneurship. And I know this is deeper than just you don't like your job. I know it's deeper than just, you just want to be free, right? What I know is you're overwhelmed and you're tired of it. I know that you want to get out of the cycle of being burnt out and having a busy schedule, but a boring life, right? You don't want to work 8 to faint every day. You do want to make really good money, but you also want a life. You want to get married. You want to have kids. You want a family. You want to be in your femininity. You want something deeper, and maybe some programs that you have looked at are like, I don't want to do what they're doing, or I don't want to do it how they're doing it. And you want a space where you're like, I need the full solution. I don't want just a course on Facebook ads, or just a course on Instagram, or just a course on this. You want high level, high touch guidance and support and accountability. And so if that's you, girl, you know what to do. You need to go ahead and book your consultation. We need to get on the phone. We need to figure out what the issues are. We need to figure out which one of these issues is keeping you from being where you want to be. And then we need to get you to a place where you're in that community, where it's with me or somebody else, to get you the space where it's like, you know what, somebody is going to challenge you to step up to that higher vision that you've only shared with yourself. So that's all I have to say for today. Let me know in the comments. Did you feel a little snatched? I feel like I snatched myself in the process. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next week. Peace. Thank you so much for watching. If you're ready to make the transition from employee to entrepreneur, then make sure to register for From Corporate to Culinary. From Corporate to Culinary is a mini course designed to help professional women begin the process of following their passion. So whether you are still on the fence about following your dreams or you have already leaped from the corporate ladder, From Corporate to Culinary equips you with the tools you need to live, cook, and work on your own terms. For more details and to register, go to FromCorporateToCulinary.com. Now, if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and click that subscribe button and turn on your notifications so that you never miss a new episode. And to see what I'm cooking up behind the scenes, make sure to follow me on Instagram and Facebook as Chef Evelyn. That's all for today, and I'll see you next week. Peace.